Touch of the match coming up, as it will be Tech who will have the ball first, as you take a look at head coach Eric Bell on the left and Tom Stone for Texas Tech on the right. And we are underway from Garvey Rosenthal Stadium tonight. Beautiful night for soccer, temperature in the 70s. There's a bit of a breeze that will probably impact any balls in the air. It is in the face of the TCU goaltender, Lauren Kellett.
Though if you looked at us, you might think it was colder than in the 70s.
Yeah, we're up high and in the wind, so a little bit of a cool night for us. Throw in Shaylin Hubbard for TCU. A little give and go with Cameron Lancaster. Hubbard. Frogs will play the ball out wide. Eric Bell likes to play possession soccer, a lot like the Europeans play. Nice touch. Chipped in towards the box, and an opportunity for Gracie Bryan making a run down the left side into the box, but a good job by the keeper, Madison White. She's been great, Chris. She's played every minute of every game for Tech this year.
No one else has even played a minute in net for Tech since 2020. She's started every match over the last couple of years, hasn't left the pitch. A four-year starter, was the Big 12 Freshman of the Year in 2019, and a local product, as you will hear us say on almost half the kids on this Tech roster, young women on this Tech roster. White is from Rockwall, went to Bishop Lynch High School.
Played for the Dallas Sting, a lot of the players on both sides playing for that club as well. Played all the way back for Kellett, as they will look to build something out of the back. Hassler plays it to the middle, all the way across. Taking up the space, Peyton Cruz, as she sends this one forward, looking for Messiah Bright over the top.
Talked about the wind coming into play. I think it might have affected that ball from Peyton.
This one a little bit more direct. Tech with an opportunity. Good job coming all the way back. Oli Pena coming all the way back on Kozaski. Zarski looked like she had some space down that side, but a good job by TCU to get back. Cameron Lancaster through the middle. Beautiful ball. And a great opportunity for TCU early in this match to get on the board.
See the speed of Kennedy Clontz come into play right there. Great ball to lead Clontz to the top of the 18, and a veteran move by White to come out and know that she had to get there because the defender wasn't going to be able to keep up with Clontz.
Clontz, just a freshman out of Frisco, has some very good speed, able to use it there down the middle. Gracie Bryan called for that foul a moment ago.
And Clontz is starting her 8th straight game tonight. This is the lineup change that the coaching staff made about a month ago now, moving Seven Castaigne into a reserve role, inserting Kennedy Clontz into the starting lineup, and shifting Cameron Lancaster to the right side of the formation.
Free kick for the Red Raiders. Tech looking to work down the right side of the attack. Played down into the corner, and it'll be a goal kick coming up, and a good job by Olivia Hassler, the junior, to run the attacker off the ball. Coppinger, a dangerous pass right across the mouth of the goal. Ashley Williams was right there for Tech, and that was a dangerous pass to make.
Reminiscent of some center back play we saw early in the season from TCU. Some of those early non-conference matches, TCU turned the ball over not frequently, but when they did, it proved to be costly against some of those highly ranked opponents early in the season.
We saw a turnover on a ball similar to that against Duke.
The changes the coaches have made have really settled down that back line, and they've liked this combination over the last month or so. Megan Riley and Grace Coppinger were coming off the bench to start the season.
Tom Stone currently has the Red Raiders currently on a 5-match winning streak. One thing you'll see about Tom Stone is he is vocal on the sidelines.
Very mild-mannered when you get him in just a conversation talking about his team, but once the match starts, he is fiery over there. He's been there a long time. 16th season at the helm.
And he's had a very good record in the past with Texas Tech. They've won the league once, made it to the NCAAs, but they have missed the conference tournament the last 2 years. Should be a lock to get in, or are a lock to get in this year.
And really have played very well over the last, really since the start of the conference season. They struggled a bit in the non-conference, only had 1 win in their first 6 matches, but since early September, just 1 loss, 2 draws, and everything else since then has been a win.
TCU trying to switch the attack here. Played out wide for Shaylin Hubbard. Hassler trying to work the ball up the left side. 50-50 ball won by Tech in midfield. And Tech will try and send this one forward. Played all the way down the right side by Peyton Cruz. A little bit too long, as it was intended for Cameron Lancaster. Messiah Bright with an opportunity, double teamed, and Bright wins a corner for the Horned Frogs. TCU's done a good job all year long getting corner kicks. 136 corners for TCU. This will be their 137th. As we take another look at this.
See that one go out of bounds off of Hannah Anderson, senior defender from Plano.
TCU's done a good job of winning these set pieces. And you look at the numbers on corner kicks this year, lopsided in favor of the Horned Frogs. I mentioned 137 now. They've only allowed 39 for the entire season. This one played short on the ground towards the top of the 18. Nobody there for TCU. Chipped back in. Messiah Bright tries to settle it. Turnover. An opportunity for TCU. Hubbard. Frogs looking to switch the attack.
Red Raiders really pressuring the ball high here early to start for TCU. It's get a look at Macy Schultz, senior forward. And like we talked about at the start of the broadcast, Texas Tech has a lot to play for, and that both teams have a lot to play for in this one. The Red Raiders coming out with a lot of energy. The TCU coaching staff told us before the match that they expected Tech to come out playing with a lot of emotion, a lot of energy, and wanted to see if their group could match that intensity from the start.
Oli Pena has to come back to get that one. Lancaster trying to dribble through traffic. Good first touch by Lancaster, who plays that ball through, intended for Bryant. Knocked away, but there's Gracie Bryant to collect it. And another corner coming up for the Horned Frogs.
You can kind of hear the Tech back line talking to each other on those mics, saying step up to make sure Brian was offside here. But because there were so many bodies back towards the touchline, Brian was onside and able to earn the corner.
Here's the corner for TCU. Played to the near post and punched away by Madison White. Tech trying to play it up the right side. It'll be chased down by TCU, and it'll be a throw in for the Horned Frogs. Olivia Hassler with the throw in.
last couple of attacking opportunities for TCU, the Frogs have tried to be a little more direct.
Something we don't see too often from them. That ball collected by Tech as they try to come down the right side. And a nice job by Cameron Lancaster marking the attacker and coming up with the ball.
To finish that thought, the Red Raiders and the Frogs were trying to go more direct, had a lot of bodies there in the middle of the field. We talked about the number of corners TCU has earned, second in the conference, or rather first in the conference, now with 137. Tech gives away a lot of corner kicks, so I think seeing Shaylin Hubbard and Megan Riley going up each side with TCU and attacking from that direction would be something the Frogs would explore tonight.
Frogs haven't been as efficient as they have in years past on those set pieces, but still, when you get them, you have opportunities to score. Pena.
And TCU is still taking plenty of shots, just not converting at quite the same rate as we've seen them in years past.
Yeah, the offense has done a good job building from the back and possessing the ball and then coming up with a lot of opportunities. They've just been unable to find the back of the net as often as they would like. You know, part of that, yes, Tech will win a throw in here as we see Elsa Anderson, the junior out of South Lake Carroll, with the throw in. You know, part of that, I think, for TCU has just been Messiah Bright, such an offensive force, and has been for her entire career, that everyone knows it. So this one's played over the top for her. She's able to run it down in the corner, see if she can use her speed to get around the defender. A good job by Texas Tech to take that ball away. It'll be a throw-in coming, but a great job on the defensive side by the defender for Tech, marking Messiah Bright on that right side.
I think it was Kylie Barr, who's a freshman, hanging in there with Bright.
Lancaster chips it towards the goal. Kept in by TCU. But what I was starting to say was, you know, every time we've done a game, you see Messiah Bright, there are two defenders marking her wherever she goes on the field. So rarely is she able to get a clean first touch and then use her speed, because somebody's usually in the vicinity trying to slow her down.
And we say all that the Frogs haven't been as efficient. They're still second in the Big 12 in goals scored this year with 35. Texas has a large lead over everybody. The Longhorns have scored 44 in 17 games, averaging better than 2.5 per match. The Frogs right there in second in that category.
Opportunity for Texas Tech is making a run down the right side was Kozarski. Kozarski looked like she had an opening, but the Frogs able to get back, didn't make the play. And you know, when we saw Texas here earlier in the year, they had a lot of speed up front, which was a little surprising, just because last year they weren't that fast.
They got a couple of goal scorers on that Longhorn team that can really get it done. Trinity Byers was just named the Player of the Week for the entire country with Texas.
Which is a big reason why they have as many goals as they do. Right now, none of that matters to these two teams on the pitch here tonight. TCU with an opportunity with a victory here tonight and a loss by the Longhorns to garner the #1 seed. But it'll take an upset of Texas by Oklahoma. And a victory for TCU. Messiah Bright coming all the way back to midfield. Trying to get around the defender. Nice move. Caused the defender to go to the ground. Hubbard. And another nice job by the Tech defender on the outside. I believe that was Kazarski. It'll be a corner coming up for TCU.
Get a look here at Messiah against Barr. Just switch directions on her. Left it for Hubbard. Bright makes it look so easy, just that quick change of direction.
Great stop again by Madison White on the ball right at the top of the 6. A great service, and that time by TCU.
And not afraid to go up into a crowd. It doesn't hurt that she's 5'11" and can get up above most of these players in search of the first touch off those set pieces. But it's not just height, these goalkeepers. You got to have a little bit of a fearless streak to go in there and not be afraid of contact.
Definitely takes a little bit of moxie. Going down, slipping on the wet turf was Cameron Lancaster. They watered a field before the match, so there are, especially tonight where it's not very warm, that moisture still on top of the surface of the grass, so you will see a player slip from time to time.
Yeah, normally it just evaporates almost immediately. They do that because TCU likes to play fast possession soccer, so it helps speed up the pitch a little bit.
Texas just scored against Oklahoma, so they lead 1-0. That game is in the first half down in Austin. With a victory, the Longhorns will clinch the #1 seed.
And it was Byers who scored that first goal for Texas.
Here's Messiah Bryant with an opportunity inside the 6, tries to send it to Bryant, and it's cleared away by Tech. Well, another good chance for TCU. Frogs have had some opportunities early on, just unable to get a clean shot off. That'll be another corner kick coming up for TCU.
Good opportunity here for TCU. Messiah Bright, just kind of a little hesitation move to get around Anderson. Gets one into the box, and a great clearance by the Red Raider defender there in the middle. As Gracie Bryan was waiting for it to come down.
This one right into the box, punched away by White. TCU had a couple of players right in front of the net, but again, it's a nice job by Madison White, the senior. She only had to make one save against Baylor last week. Was only credited anyway with one save. All the way back to Lauren Kellett for TCU.
That was a game Baylor had its opportunities, especially in the first half, to jump out to an early lead, but the game was scoreless after 45 minutes. Tech got its first goal late in the 77th minute from Charlotte Teeter, the fifth-year senior.
TCU content to play this one back, try to build something out of the back line.
Tom Stone said it was just a really emotional goal for Teeter. It was senior night there in Lubbock, their last home game of the season. And she's been one of the team leaders through her 5 years on campus. To make it even a little bit sweeter, it came right after she almost had a turnover that led to a Baylor goal. But as soon as Red Raiders got it back, she was able to convert on a missile from right outside the 18.
Pena for TCU elects to play the ball back. TCU will probe the left side of the attack here. Now the Frogs looking to switch it. Good job by Texas Tech to hold their shape on the back line as TCU content to play a little bit of keep away. Lancaster to Pena. Little two-man game for the Frogs. This is what TCU does best. They possess the ball and make their opposition chase, and then look for an opportunity as Peyton Cruz makes the run down that side. All the way into the corner. Hubbard made the overlapping run, wins the corner. And that's exactly what the Frogs offense is looking to do. They'll continue to possess the ball in the back, looking for those opportunities, and then when they see an opening, they'll try to push the attack in a hurry.
And Shaylin Hubbard is, this is her 100th career start and has just been so good at getting to that end line and sending crosses over for 5 years now. It's almost become a given for this team.
Megan Riley with the corner. That one headed back towards Messiah Bright, who settles it, leaves it for Lancaster, who chips this one, punched over the top of the crossbar.
Nice idea by Lancaster, but there's not a lot of space between Madison White and the crossbar. Got a little lift on it, but with her height and leaping ability, see the hand easily a couple inches over that crossbar. Not much space.
Another corner coming up as Riley sends it into the box. Another long range chip towards the net, and it's corralled by Madison White. Emma Reagan finds the back of the net for Texas, and the Longhorns jump out to a quick 2-0 lead. So if that score holds or something similar to that, TCU needs the victory here to have the #2 seed.
Yeah, the upset there not looking so promising just 20 minutes in.
The ball off of Lauren Kellett, so it'll be a corner kick, first of the night for Texas Tech.
Yeah, uncharacteristically inaccurate pass from Hasler there, looking for Kellett. Couldn't quite settle it down. First corner of the night for Texas Tech.
This one sent to the top of the 18, headed away by Hannah Anderson. Bicycle kick. Mike Kennedy claunches to get that ball away from the front of the net. Megan Riley trying to find Clance, making the run down the left side, but the pass too much to her inside, unable to make a play, and a good job by Texas Tech to step into the passing lane. Red Raiders have not been able to mount much of an attack here through the first part of this game. Schultz sends it outside. Teeter trying to beat her defender. This one played through to the left. It'll be a throw in for TCU as Kaylee Barr ended up.
You talk about TCU possessing the ball. Texas Tech has been unable to do so. That last sequence before that throw might have been the longest the Red Raiders have connected some passes together like that. And the Horned Frogs just did a really good job of closing down options, funneling the ball where they wanted it to go from a defensive standpoint. And the Red Raiders unable to find that space to the right of Lauren Kellett where they were looking to get the ball into some open areas.
Pena with the takeaway at midfield. Cameron Lancaster sends it over the top, looking for Messiah Bright to make a run down the middle. But the ball was up over her head.
And we don't call their names as often because they're not always involved in the attack, but Oli Pena and Peyton Cruz do an excellent job defensively in the midfield for TCU that really prevents other teams from getting anything going as far as keeping possession of the ball for long stretches of time.
They do a really good job of just stopping the attack 40, 50 yards away from Lauren Kellett.
Keeps the center backs from having to work too hard, allows them to stay in their shape. And see Pena distributing there out wide.
There's Peyton Cruz with it. Cruz and Pena making connections in the midfield as they will play it all the way back. TCU. Coppinger plays it all the way through. Lancaster using her speed. Beautiful service to the top of the box. Gracie Bryant was making a run right down the middle, sent it over the top of the net. But a nice job by Lancaster to start that for the Horned Frogs.
And Lancaster absolutely had a step on the defender here. Got just enough space to get across in front, and Bryant got underneath it and popped it up over the goal. But a good look for Gracie Bryant here, and a great pass from Lancaster.
And TCU with the best opportunities here early on. Michelle Slater into the game for Megan Riley. Skylar Henrik also checking into the game for Kennedy Klontz. Henrik just back to action, missing a lot of time early in the season. Came back a couple of weeks ago against Oklahoma State, scored a goal against Baylor last time out for the Horned Frogs, and TCU really could use her speed on the outside.
Yeah, she got hurt in the first game of the season, and it forced some freshmen to really step up and take on bigger roles. They were counting on Heinrich to play alongside Bright and Lancaster. Instead, it's allowed Seven Castaigne, Kennedy Klontz, Tyler Iskrig, AJ Hennessy, all those four freshmen to get a lot of experience at the forward positions. And getting Heinrich back at this point going into the postseason, after all those freshmen played in so many matches, really builds some depth.
Foul here by TCU as Olivia Hassler gets tangled up with Ashley Williams. Foul goes against TCU. So free kick coming for Texas Tech. TCU able to take the ball away deep in their own end. Slater for TCU. Tech trying to push numbers forward here and make something happen as they have not possessed the ball for very long. Pena plays it out wide for Coppinger. Coppinger chipping it towards the 18. Lancaster able to get her head on it. But nobody making an overlapping run or a run for the Horned Frogs.
We'll see if Tech picks and chooses its spots as to when to pressure you.
Pena goes to ground after the foul. I believe it was on Texas Tech's Lee Skurzinski.
Because with the Raiders struggles to possess the ball here early in the match, you wonder if maybe Tom Stone thinks the best chance to get a goal is to force a turnover in TCU's defensive third. They've got aggressive forwards. We've seen Macy Schultz and Ashley Williams up there applying pressure often through these first 30 minutes.
Through ball for Hubbard. And another nice pass by Cameron Lancaster, almost right to Shaylin Hubbard's feet, but again, Tech up to the task, able to come away with it. And another good opportunity for TCU. They've had a few here in this first half, but still unable to find the back of the net. In fact, there's 3 shots for the Horned Frogs, only one of them on frame. Played all the way back.
On the back end of that opportunity for TCU, a nice defensive play by Messiah Bright. Texas Tech was trying to counter, and Bright able to get back, run a Red Raider player off the ball, create an opportunity, and get the ball back for the Frogs.
Quick throw in for TCU. There's a turnover in midfield. TCU trying to come back the other way. Gracie Bryant just outside the 18. Slater. TCU looking to make something happen. Beautiful service into the box, but nobody there for the Horned Frogs. Messiah Bright, the nearest player. And it'll be another corner coming up for the Horned Frogs as Skylar Henrich did a good job with the ball at her feet.
You got to look at Heinrich working around a couple of defenders. I believe it got deflected off the foot of Anderson and headed away by a Red Raider.
Megan Riley. Megan Riley will take the corner. Coming up this Sunday, the 2022 Sprouts Farmers Market Big 12 Soccer Championship gets underway from Round Rock, Texas. 3 days of coverage starting with 4 quarterfinal matchups on Sunday, 2 semifinal matches on Thursday, November the 3rd. All of it exclusively on Big 12 Now. The championship match will be on Sunday, November 6th at 1 p.m. Central. That game will be on ESPNU, so tune in for that, as there will be a lot of soccer action coming up from the Big 12 tournament this week and into the early part of next week as well. Seven Castaigne checks in for Messiah Bright. For Texas Tech, Peyton Parsons checks into the game for Penelope Malenga.
Parsons is one of the players that started a bunch of games early in the season for Texas Tech before Stone and his staff made some major lineup adjustments. Parsons, Sierra Jones.
Tech almost able to break out of the pile with the ball. Macy Schultz had it. There's a whistle and a foul. I don't know if that foul came earlier. I believe they're going to whistle the foul that happened 10 seconds ago or 15 seconds ago as the ball had trickled away. We'll take another look at it here.
See Hasler marking Schultz here. Just got tangled up a little bit there.
Here's the free kick. Anderson takes it. That one over everyone's head, and it'll go all the way out of bounds past the end line. So it'll be a goal kick for the Horned Frogs.
Parsons pleading her case to the official. Got tangled up there with Hasler as well, as she was trying to make a run towards the back post. But Hasler did a nice job to just use her positioning, stay in between Parsons and the ball.
Substitutions during the whistle for both teams here. AJ Hennessy replaces Cameron Lancaster for the Horned Frogs. Lauren Memoli also checking in for Oli Pena.
Coaching staff is really pleased with the progress Hennessy has made this year. It's showing up in the amount of time she's spending on the field. She played a season-high 49 minutes against Baylor and has become one of the go-to substitutes for this squad.
TCU's possessed the ball for the vast majority of this first half. Have yet to really, I guess the Lancaster opportunity is probably the best, as Seven Castaigne had it taken away on a nice slide tackle by Hannah Anderson, the senior out of Plano, Texas. Fox trying to string some passes together in the midfield. Working down the left side of the attack. Again, played towards the middle. Good job by Tech to hold their shape on the back line and make it difficult for TCU. Be a throw in coming for the Horned Frogs. Riley will take it for TCU.
You can hear all the chatter along the Texas Tech back line. This is a defense that communicates really well. They've only allowed 11 goals all season. That's tied for the fewest in the Big 12.
And a lot of experience on that back line for Tech. Another opportunity for TCU in the middle. Right out to the right side for Shaylin Hubbard. Hubbard trying to weave her way through traffic. Good job again by Tech, not allowing a lot of room for Hubbard to work.
And a lot of the strength of that back line also comes from the keeper. When you have a veteran keeper who's comfortable directing traffic because she can see the whole field and what's going on a little bit better, it helps keep everybody more organized. And growing into that vocally is a lot of the development process for college keepers as they come in at 18 years old and develop into seniors 4 years, sometimes 5 years later.
Lauren Kellett's done a nice job in net for the Horned Frogs. Over her time here. Under 8 minutes remaining in the first half. The majority of this game has been played in the attacking third for TCU. Surprisingly enough, most of the goals this year for TCU have come in the second half.
It seems like a lot of these matches, we come away after 45 minutes saying, had TCU possessed the ball a lot, they had a lot of opportunities, just unable to convert.
23 of the 35 goals that TCU has scored this year have come in the second half. So just 12 goals in the first half for the Horned Frogs. But you're right, majority of the time, it's TCU with possession of the ball.
So scoring across all sports at TCU is apparently a second half thing. Football team, a couple second half comebacks the last 2 weeks.
But, as the coaches will tell you in soccer or in any sport, if you possess the ball, it's hard for the other team to win the game. Seven Castaigne will take the corner for TCU. It is their 8th corner of the match.
Yeah, if you have the ball, the other team can't score.
Yep. Castaigne sends it towards the near post, headed away by Tech. Not all the way out as TCU is able to chase it down. Sent back in. Once again, the Frogs will play it back and try to restart things. Gracie Bryant. There's opportunity for TCU in the middle. Tried to get it to Castaigne. Couldn't settle it. But not out as TCU continues to put pressure on. Hubbard. Check that, that's Slater, I believe, with the ball. Nope, Shaylin Hubbard is out here to the right. There she is. Slater wins the throw in.
Frogs keeping the pressure on. We see Oklahoma just scored on a penalty kick to bring it to within 1 late in the first half. Once you get to within a goal, anything can happen. Key for the Sooners there will just be to keep it a 1-goal game as long as they can.
Played away from the 18 by Tech. And a tie with the TCU win would give the Frogs first place. Castaigne unable to maintain possession of the ball. Oh, another corner coming up for the White Frogs. Their 9th of this match. See Heinrich.
Even for a team that picks up a lot of corners, they've piled them up faster tonight than it feels like we've seen them do all season.
Castaigne with the service to the near post. Not out. And that loose ball hit the pipe. It caught the wood on the left side. So 2 near misses. Earlier, Lancaster sent one to the top, and here, I think it's Heinrich who.
Did it hit the post or did she save it? I think White got a hand on it.
No, it did. I thought it hit the post the way it looked from where we're at, 100 yards away.
It was right lined up with the post.
Castaigne.
Hard to tell if it would have been inside the post or not, but obviously much too close to take the risk not to dive and knock it away. First time White has been forced to make a save in 15-20 minutes. She was tested often early in the match. First time Frogs have gotten a shot on frame in some time, though.
Under 3 minutes remaining in the half. Time of possession heavily in favor of TCU. It's Lauren Kellett on the near side to us as we're behind her. Has had very little work to do tonight except to try and start the offense. A takeaway by Castaigne. Plays that one through, but nobody there for TCU. Gracie Bryant, the nearest Horned Frog, was bolting down the middle of the field, but she was still a good 10 yards away from it. But a nice through ball that time by Castaigne.
White using this opportunity to kind of set her team where she wants it to be.
She's got the wind at her back and able to send that one all the way to midfield.
Almost outkicked everybody.
Tech will play it back. And try and probe the left side of the attack into the middle. Sierra Jones had it for a moment and lost it. Tech with a good opportunity right here late in the half. Long range shot. That strike coming off the foot of Caitlin Giametta, the sophomore from Prosper.
The Frogs give it away here. Giametta finds a little space. Much too high over the crossbar.
The first shot for Tech. Castaigne working against the defender, trying to get around. Still has it, plays it to the middle. Nobody there as that one goes all the way through.
That one sat up on a tee for somebody. No Frogs there making a run.
TCU had a couple of players all the way in, bunched up inside the 6, but nobody standing at the top of the 18, which is where that ball went right through. Half a minute remaining in the first half.
With the number of chances TCU has had here in the first half, it'll be interesting to see how the Frogs' attack looks with the wind at its back in the second half. I don't know if that's slowed anything down.
There's a whistle and a foul that'll be against Texas Tech.
10, 9, 8,
And that goes against Charlotte Teeter.
5, 4, 3, 2.
Final seconds of the first half as this whistle sounds to end half number 1. Eric Bell talking to the 4th. Messiah Bright from Cedar Hill. You get a look at another one right there in Michelle Slater from Plano. Went to Plano West, played for Solar. A lot of local products really on both of these teams.
Texas Tech has quite a few North Texas players in their roster. You look at their starting lineup, Ashley Williams, whose name we've called several times as one of the top attackers on this team, is from Allen. Molly Skrzyncki. Check that. I saw Centennial on my roster.
Colorado?
Yeah, it's like Frisco Centennial because that's one of the high schools up there. Not the case. But there's Hannah Anderson from Plano, Cassie Taylor also from Allen. We said Elise Anderson earlier from Southlake Carroll. So aside from Skrzyncki, there's still other players from the area.
That was an honest mistake. It's also a Centennial High School down in Burleson. This one played over the top and looked like Messiah Bright might have had an opportunity to get to it, but a little bit off her inside shoulder and just unable to close on it.
Let's get a little more creative with these high school names. Have enough centennials and memorials and things like that in every district.
That's true. Lauren Kellett coming way out of the box. Wins the goal kick, and she was outside the 18 trying to run that one down. And that's the experience of Lauren Kellett, who's been in goal now for a number of years. Is she recognized that there was nobody back for TCU as the Frogs pushed numbers forward, and that ball played much more directly over the top, and she figured she better go get it, because if she waited, it was going to be a white jersey getting to the ball first. Messiah Bright working on Cassie Taylor.
Kellett would have been 1v1 with Schultz. And Tom Stone asks quite a bit of these two forwards in Schultz and Williams. They spend a lot of time challenging Kellett, challenging the center backs at TCU, trying to create just a little mistake that might lead to an opportunity to counter.
Messiah Bright being marked closely by Cassie Taylor. Plays it to the outside. Back to Bright. Beautiful move by Bright. The ball at her feet, looking for some space. Plays it wide. An opportunity for TCU as they win another corner. Shaylin Hubbard just outside the 6. Might have stayed with that ball just a fraction too long.
I almost think at some point during this sequence, you want to see a shot come off the foot of one of these TCU attackers. They kept holding on to it as more and more bodies converged around the 6, and that really closed up the open space that Bright had when she got her first touch.
Another corner for the Horned Frogs coming up. This one served low towards the inside. Oli Pena was there for the Horned Frogs, unable to get a head on it.
Now, Oli Pena is probably not going to win a battle in the air with Madison White. Got about 8 to 9 inches on her.
Giametta gives it up, plays that ball down the left side. Schultz goes to ground. It'll be a goal kick coming up for TCU, and look like Schultz a little bit slow getting up.
Hassler has had a really strong night so far for TCU. She has been called for a foul, but done a really good job being just physical enough not to get whistled, but doing a good job using that positioning to defend.
Yeah, she did a really good job of just keeping her body between Kellett and Schultz. That one played over the top, but right to Elise Anderson of Tech, but not out. Here's Messiah Bright again, marked by 2 Tech players. Hubbard. Pena plays it wide. Play to the middle. Bright couldn't settle it. Gracie Bryant had an opportunity, couldn't get the strike off. Messiah Bright unable to get much on hers.
Defender right in front of her when she let it go.
Hubbard had it taken away, and she was working just outside the 18. And again, TCU possessed the ball for the majority of the first half, had a couple of opportunities, but unable to score.
Nice job there by Riley to get it inside. Deflects to Bright. Just too many bodies between her and the net.
Throw in coming right in front of the TCU bench. Slater one to throw in for the Frogs. TCU pushing all the way up as the back line has come all the way across the center line. Beautiful through ball for Messiah Bright. Bright stays with it, still has it at her feet. Messiah looking for somebody. Cameron Lancaster trying to get it to Gracie Bryant all the way through. Hubbard with the shot just wide.
She had space. There was a slight angle there between White and that far post. It had to be right on target. Hubbard just a little bit wide with it. But outstanding effort here by Messiah to get around Cassie Taylor, keep the ball at her feet. Finds Lancaster. Ultimately has it deflected to Hubbard. And Shea just wide. This is going to be a great angle to see that space. There was a little bit of room there, but it had to be just perfect. And it was just wide of that post. And credit to White for knowing the spacing and the angles to know where she needed to be to make it a very difficult shot for Hubbard.
TCU with possession once again. Messiah Bright. Riley, little give and go with Messiah. And it would be a throw in. Messiah doing a lot of work here in this match, especially here in the second half, to try and get something going. You can see her kind of taking a little breather when she's got a moment, knowing that her job is not done. She's got the ball again, trying to work around the defender with the strike from right about 18 yards away, and it went wide. Elise Anderson doing a good job of marking her.
Frogs always go through Messiah Bright, not always, but often on offense. Feels like here early in the second half, that is the game plan. That is the adjustment. Trying to get the ball to Bright a little more often. It's only 8 minutes into the second half. It feels like Bright has already had 3 to 4 opportunities just on her own.
Up into the wind, that ball barely making it to midfield. There's a little hand battle going on, and the whistle. Foul going to be called against Texas Tech. Macy Schultz.
And she and Coppinger, little jousting for position here. Too much upper body involved for the liking of the official.
I was waiting for you to try and say his name.
You go with Andres Pfefferkorn.
Here comes TCU. Gracie Bryant squeezes through the defenders. Bryant with the left foot, just wide.
Second straight attacking chance for TCU with that angle was from the opposite side.
Gracie Bryant just split the defenders right here. Had an open side to the net, and I'm not sure if this ball was touched by White.
Doesn't look like it. The official didn't think so because they awarded the goal kick.
But a good opportunity. Messiah Bright heads this one back towards the middle of the 18. And White has to come up to collect it. Now, Madison White has been tested a few times in this match. She's been up to the task thus far.
We wondered if the wind would make a difference for TCU on the attack. Through 10 minutes and change, it would appear that it has helped out the Frogs a little bit.
Lancaster from distance sends it over the crossbar.
Because these goal kicks from White just coming down well shy of midfield. TCU so far in the second half has been the team winning a lot of these 50-50 balls. They've gotten the first touch the last couple. Messiah Bright with the header. Ole Pena came down with the last one, and White tried to put a little less air under that one to see if she could create a little more space between herself and the Frogs' attack.
Ryan with the ball. And again, TCU with a nice little give and go. Gracie Bryant making a run. Messiah Bright with a nice little touch to get it to her, but not enough open space to try and get a strike off, and it'll be a throw in. Eric Bell looking on. Double-digit shot attempts in every game this season for the Horned Frogs. They have 10 tonight, but unable to find the back of the net so far. Long throw in for Texas Tech. Well, it's not been for lack of opportunities in a couple of these matches that we've done. It's just that TCU has not been able to get one past the keepers.
And the Frogs average better than 17 shots a game. Again, like in a lot of these offensive categories, Trail Texas gets off over 19 shots per game. Frogs a little less accurate than some of these other schools in the Big 12. Shots on goal, they're 4th in the conference, despite being 2nd in shots overall.
TCU looking to switch the attack here as they work the ball up. Played out wide. A couple of good opportunities here early in the first half for the Horned Frogs.
Slowed down this pace a little bit. The attacks were coming with great frequency and probing a little bit more this time around.
TCU trying to build something out of the back here. Pena. Kennedy Klontz plays it outside. Hubbard's been involved in a lot of these build-ups here in this half. And she will win a corner for the Horned Frogs. So Shea's been really active here in this second half, pushing up from her position.
even more so than we see on a regular basis, especially when she's not the one bringing the ball up the field.
Kennedy Klontz with the corner, headed away from in front of the net by Texas Tech. Lancaster runs it down, plays it inside for Messiah Bright. Bright being marked by Anderson. It'll be another corner for TCU.
Corner, TCU.
If you're TCU, just figure the more of these that you can rack up, the more opportunities you can create for yourself, either off the corner or off a second opportunity.
Double-digit corners for TCU to 12th. They've had double digits 4 in the last 5. Gracie Bryant knocked to the ground as that ball was loose inside the 6. No penalty or no call. Teeter knocked her down. A lot of pushing and shoving going on right now by both teams. That one played forward by Tech.
It's become a little bit of a more physical match over the last few minutes. And for either side, want to be careful not to give away a foul or pick up a card in a dangerous area.
TCU will try to settle things back down again as they work the ball back. Taking up the space, it's played forward for Messiah Bright, but a little too far forward. Lancaster doing a great job, tried to get the shot off. Now heads it to the outside for Gracie Bryant. Bryant. Still with the ball at her feet. Hubbard, nice move to get around the defender. Plays it to the center. Lancaster goes to ground as she was knocked down from behind. No call. The referee says play on. Well, Lancaster was in perfect position right near the penalty spot, but went to ground before the ball got to her.
Another opportunity for TCU. Fry's just trying to keep that pressure on Texas Tech.
Messiah Bright with the one-touch pass for Gracie Bryant, but it was taken away. This ball played all the way through. An opportunity coming up for the Red Raiders as they push numbers forward. The long shot goes wide. One of the few shots by Texas Tech as Macy Schultz let that one fly from about 30 yards away.
Marked there by Coppinger. Not close to the frame. And a lot of these forwards, you see Schultz going to the bench. A couple of the TCU forwards just went to the bench as well. These forwards have been racking up the miles here quickly in the second half. So Messiah Bright will also get a breather for TCU.
Just the second shot for Texas Tech. Peyton Cruz into the game for Michelle Slater. Skylar Heinrich back in, replacing Kennedy Klontz. Lancaster. And the flag goes up. Looks like Heinrich on the far side got behind the defender, so she was flagged for offsides. I think on that last opportunity by Macy Schultz before she went to the bench, where she shot from about 30 yards away, you can see just a little bit of frustration on Tech's part as they're trying to get something going. As you see down in Austin, still 2-1, Texas with the lead against Oklahoma. So if that score holds, the Longhorns will win the regular season outright and will be the #1 seed in the tournament starting on Sunday.
Regardless of seeding, TCU probably likes its chances. They've been at least on par with every team in the conference so far this season. A lone loss coming to Oklahoma a couple of matches ago. But they played Texas tough to a draw. They played West Virginia to a draw. So the Frogs will be a threat to win the tournament regardless of how the seeding ends up.
7, Castaigne goes down as Cassie Taylor kind of ran over her back, and she's going to pick up a yellow card. So the sophomore from Allen, Texas, who's a member of the Dallas Sting, carded here.
See a little bit of a forearm go into the back of Castaigne that sends her to ground. The official did not hesitate to issue the card there. As you see the extension better from that angle from Taylor's forearm.
And the yellow card comes just over 25 minutes remaining in the match. Pena with the ball for TCU. Longhorns with another goal. Emily Jean Cox finding the back of the net to extend that lead to 3-1. Right here, we're scoreless. TCU's dominated possession and opportunities in this game, but yet to find the back of the net. Lancaster trying to chip it in for Gracie Bryan, but it's headed away by Teeter. Pena got to that one first, sent it forward. White has to come out and play that one with Gracie Bryan bearing down on her.
While TCU hasn't been able to convert any of these opportunities, the Red Raiders really haven't possessed the ball much at all here in the second half. Aside from that Schultz shot that went wide, not much going for Tech.
That ball cut off as it was Elise Anderson who stepped in the way of it. Yeah, you're right. I mean, it's really been a dominating performance possession-wise for TCU, and you know they've had a few chances. Shaylin Hubbard, who has the ball in her hands here, ready, waiting for the throw, and has had a couple of good opportunities. But so far, a clean sheet for both teams. And one thing we should also mention is once we get into postseason play, overtime starts to come back into play. As the games will not end in these draws that we've seen. Brianna Brosom comes in for Megan Riley here. Michelle Slater for Cameron Lancaster as well during this timeout.
Brosom coming in should shift Hassler outside the left back for TCU. Brosom will play center back. But talk to any coaches, most of the Big 12 coaches preferred the overtime during the regular season.
Gracie Bryan trying to play that one forward. Castaigne. And it's a corner for TCU. And when you talk to the coaches early on in the season, when they announced that there would be no regular season overtimes, they all were like, you know, we don't like it. We'd much rather play the extra time or come up with some other better plan.
Yeah, 20 more minutes gets you the odds that much closer to getting a result instead of a draw in some of these matches.
Sent just outside the 6. Peyton Cruz And Cruz will run this one down. Well, the other thing, you know, we talked to the coaches about Gracie Bryan almost able to just redirect that one into the back of the net. I'm not sure if she got a piece of it, but a great service by Peyton Cruz.
That one just slipped under Bryan's foot. One hop to Madison White. Another good look for TCU.
And back to the extra time, you know, one of the things that Eric Bell and Ryan Higginbotham talked about it, they said, you know, for the entirety of the regular season, we're not going to play extra time. And the point was, you know, for potential injuries, you wouldn't be obviously tired playing the extra 20 minutes, but they said, you know, now at the end of the year when we're tired from all the training and all of the games and all of the workouts, you know, now all of a sudden we're going to institute the extra 20 minutes. We think that that's more dangerous than if we were just played it the whole time and gotten used to it.
And TCU would have had plenty of opportunities to get used to it. 4 draws this year. Tech has 5. And it goes both ways a little bit as far as advantage and disadvantage, because there's been matches where, you know, you're watching the last 5-10 minutes and it looks like TCU would dominate. Others where it looks like the other team has a little more legs left.
This ball played through to Castaigne, trying to find some space to operate. And it'll be a throw in. As closing rapidly was Anderson. And it looked like Castaigne might have an opportunity to get through there.
See that one just cleared away by the Tech back line.
Under 20 minutes now remaining in the match. It's been pretty much all TCU from the opening touch. But here we are, under 20 minutes, find ourselves scoreless. Hennessy up top. The strike from Castaigne just wide. And another opportunity for TCU. It just goes by the wayside. Come this Sunday, the 2022 Sprouts Farmers Market Big 12 Soccer Championship gets underway from Round Rock. 3 days of coverage starting with 4 quarterfinal matchups on Sunday, 2 semifinal matches on Thursday, November 3rd, all of them exclusively on the Big 12 Now network. The championship match will be on on Sunday, November the 6th at 1 p.m. Central Time, and that game will air on ESPNU. That's the Sprouts Farmers Market Soccer Championships from Round Rock coming up this week. Opportunity for Tech is swept away from trouble by TCU.
We've mentioned a couple times, if Tech is going to find a way to get a goal, it feels like it's going to be on a counter, something like that. They had an opportunity there, didn't quite get a shot off, but had numbers moving toward their attacking third.
Played out wide by TCU. Frogs. Heinrich trying to get around the defender. Does a great job and has to be cleared away, but not out as TCU keeps possession. That one served towards the middle by Hassler, and it's headed away. It'll be a throw-in for the Horned Frogs, and a good job by Cassie Taylor. Picked up the yellow card earlier in the half, heading that one away. Castaigne back to Hassler. Inside for Gracie Bryan. Bryan wanted a handball, didn't get the call. And she was lobbying the referee, Andres Pfefferkorn.
There you go.
TCU serves it into the box, headed away. And again, the Frogs putting pressure on Tech. But Tech's back line holding firm. Long range shot punched out of the way by Madison White on the great strike by Lancaster.
TCU.
Cruz lays it off.
Actually, it was Ali Pena.
Pena forcing White to make the save, like it was on frame from where we stand. This will be a good angle to see if it was.
Corner for TCU. Back to live action as that one played away from trouble. Gracie Bryant had an opportunity inside the 18, just couldn't settle it.
And at this point for TCU, can't imagine it would be too much longer before we see Bright and Lancaster back into the match.
Pena trying to use her speed to get through traffic. TCU play it all the way back. Hennessy, Gracie Bryant.
Hennessy has had some good moments here in the second half on the ball for TCU. Before that shot from Pena, a couple of really athletic moves to keep the ball at her feet, getting around a couple of defenders.
Frogs switch the attack all the way across. Good job by Tech to slide the defense over that way. Peyton Cruz. Frogs pushing numbers up. Trying to get a goal here. Nicely played for Hubbard, who makes the overlapping run down the right side. Hubbard still with the ball. Gets it. And tries to get it to Castaigne, but it was taken away by Hannah Anderson. And the back line for Tech has done an outstanding job tonight. They just have not allowed a lot of space. Once the ball gets to the top of the 18, they really tighten up.
Yeah, if TCU to be able to score, you kind of feel like they've not do it from distance, but at least get a cross in from some distance away, right? Because when they try to get those shorter passes in and possess the ball closer into the penalty spot or the 6, there's just too many bodies around to get a clean look at the goal.
Lauren Memley checks into the game for the Horned Frogs. Yeah, that one, it seems like there's that one extra pass that's been coming once the ball is inside the 18, and it allows Tech to just slide the defensive unit over in that direction, which then causes too much traffic.
Shots have been getting deflected before they even get to Madison White. Back line packing it in for the Red Raiders.
At this juncture of the game, as we close in on 12 minutes remaining, it's going to be the team that can stay away from making the mistake that may come away with the win here tonight.
At this juncture, when you start pushing these type of numbers forward, one errant pass can lead to a counter in the opposite direction very easily.
Played towards the middle, Messiah Bright back in. You talked about Frogs getting her back along with Lancaster. They both checked in during that last break in the proceedings.
Texas Tech doing something similar, bringing Macy Schultz back into the game for the final 12.
Elise Johnson, Elise Anderson rather, with the throw in. And you see the substitution, Schultz in for Malenga. Bronx control it. Bryan had it deflected. Cruz doing a good job of stepping in. Gracie Bryant. Throw in for Tech. Gracie Bryant's had some opportunities tonight.
The Frogs wanted a foul there against Texas Tech. AJ Hennessy might have caught a limb to the face before that one went out of bounds.
Another throw in for Tech as they'll move the ball up the sideline.
Can really tell the Tech backing here tonight. You hear some of the Raider power chant in the background coming from the crowd. We talked about how many of these players are from this area.
And there's a foul against Texas Tech. And that was a hard foul. We'll take another look at it here. That foul committed by Giametta.
That's a little bit of a dangerous play to take out the TCU attacker mid-stride.
And that's a team yellow card issued to Texas Tech. I'm not sure if it was, well, check that. It's going to be on Giametta. So 2 yellows in this match, both of them against Texas Tech. It was initially posted as just a team yellow card. I thought they might have given it to the bench since it was right in front of the Texas Tech bench, but it was Giametta for the rough foul. Messiah Bright trying to settle it. And a whistle. It'll be a foul against Messiah Bright. As her and Cassie Taylor kind of got together. It looked like she might have gotten kneed around the head, and you could see Messiah going over and just putting her hand out, saying to her, hey, I'm sorry about that. That was unintentional.
Didn't quite know where she was as she went up in the air.
Under 10 minutes remaining in the match. Still looking for our first score. TC with 15 shots. 3 of them have been on goal, but none of them have found the back of the net. Played to the middle. Taylor out wide. Anderson, and a throw in coming for Texas Tech.
For Texas Tech returning to match number 9, Peyton Parsons for number 33, Caitlin Giametta. For TCU returning to
Substitutions. Oli Pena back in the match for the Horned Frogs. Lauren Memoli checks out for TCU. Giametta leaving the match as Peyton Parsons checks back in for the Red Raiders. Messiah Bright almost had an opportunity, overran the ball. Anderson serves it towards the top of the 18. Right there. Texas Tech with a chance to possess the ball deep in TCU territory here. But the attack short-lived by the Red Raiders. That one hit it back up the middle. Messiah Bright trying to split the defenders. unable to get to it in time, but a quick throw in coming for TCU. The Frogs able to move the ball up the field. Still in the second half in Austin. Texas leading by a couple of goals. Well, if things down in Austin stay the same, and it stays the same here, TCU will be the #2 seed even with a tie. Lancaster chipping it towards the goal. That one off the boot of A.J. Hennessy from about 20 yards away, but a relatively easy save for Madison White.
The first one was a good look here. Lancaster had Bryan on the backside, but a defender stepped in front. And Hennessy's shot, a little too much air under it. Easy stop for White. And I wouldn't expect TCU to be too aggressive in the last 6 minutes, because a loss for TCU would do a lot more harm than the benefits of a win with the current standing down in Austin.
Yeah, and the draw, as we said, would get them sole possession of second place in the league, so they'll would be the #2 seed and not harm their RPI in any big way. Where a loss to Tech would certainly negatively impact TCU's RPI.
Texas Tech 63rd in the RPI, 4th among Big 12 schools. You get another look here as Hennessy tries to get around Kozarski. They say play on, but TCU does her in the corner.
Well, the corner coming for the Horned Frogs. This one off the side of the cage. Brianna Brossum, the nearest Horned Frog, but that ball got up in the wind and drifted behind the end line. 15th corner of the match for the Horned Frogs. TCU looking to get a late goal here. Lancaster serves it in for Hubbard, but Hubbard got tangled up by Kozarski. Good move by TCU, left-footed, just wide. And another good chance by the Horned Frogs as A.J. Hennessy from distance with that strike just missed.
Well, Hennessy has had a heck of a second half for TCU. She gets right through the legs of Kylie Barr and launches a bullet towards that outside post, just wide. And TCU on the attack again.
Tech trying to counter. They send this one forward. And TCU able to get to the ball first, so they'll play it back. There's not been a whole lot of offense for Texas Tech tonight. We do not have the possession numbers as we close in on the 3-minute mark, but let's take another look at this nice shot by Hennessy.
Not only the shot, but the move to get through Barr, and then just inches away from that post.
Throw in for TCU. That one is thrown all the way down. And a yellow card being issued to Tom Stone. He did not like the call on the throw-in.
He thought it was Texas Tech's ball. That is Stone's 4th yellow card of the season.
3rd yellow card on Tech in this match. clock stops as the yellow card is issued. Just under 3 minutes remaining in this match. And Pfefferkorn booking Tom Stone. So Stone carded. We're back to action here. White with the goal kick. That one played up the left side. TCU able to get to the ball ahead of Texas Tech. But barring a mistake here, this one looks to be headed for a draw.
See if TCU can mount any more opportunities here. They've had plenty of good looks in the second half, more than they had in the first, but still unable to convert.
Two minutes remaining. Messiah Bright triple teamed.
May see more and more players just go to the ball here as the clock winds down under 2 minutes.
Bryant could not settle it. She was right at the top of the 18 with some space, just could not settle the ball. Opportunity for one more build-up for the Horned Frogs. Nice connection in the middle by TCU. And the Frogs lobbying for a handball in the box, will not get it.
Hennessy thought that got a piece of somebody. I'm not sure. Didn't look like it deflected in any direction.
And if it was an inadvertent hand. A minute remaining. Maybe an opportunity for one more rush by TCU, or by Tech for that matter. Played out wide. And that ball, a corner, was deflected out of bounds. Just 23 seconds remaining. One last chance for the Horned Frogs. As the clock ticks down. Served to the top of the 18. And that will do it as that ball is cleared away from the front of the goal, and the horn sounds to end the match. A lot of pressure, Chris, put on the Texas Tech defense tonight, but TCU unable to get it behind the keeper, Morgan.